just trying to do the lighting. I actually am a couple days late on doing this update, but I really wasn't sure what to say for an update because a lot of the stuff that's going on is like a lot of facial features changing. My skin is getting a lot more oily, so I'm getting acne a lot more on my neck than I used to. Not so much on my face anymore because the hair is starting to grow in, so it's not so bad as it used to be. Other than that, like, that's pretty much it. And I can't get my voice to do, like, high pitches anymore. And I mean, I could, it just hurts. Um, I am actually sitting outside my work because I start in about 50 minutes. So I thought I'd come in early, sit, chill out in the parking lot. But that's pretty much that. But I figured out what I did want to talk about, and I get this question a lot, and I got this a lot at work within the last few weeks. Well, weekend, actually. Um, I decided I'm just going to answer them and refer people to this video instead of talking about it because I got tired of explaining it. So, frequently asked questions. Part 1. I don't know how many parts there are going to be to this because I only thought of a few as I was heading into work. First one. Are you a boy or a girl? Very common. I do look pretty feminine, so it is very confusing, especially when they do start to see the facial hair and then they hear my voice. I am a boy. I am female to male transgender. How long have you known? I have known probably since I was 15, but kept it to myself because I didn't know what that meant. I just knew I didn't want to be a girl. I wanted to be a boy. But instead of admitting it, I suppressed it and kept it to myself, thinking that there must be something wrong with me. Because as I was growing up, I did hear about transgender people, but I didn't know what exactly that meant. It wasn't until I started getting older that I started educating myself more on it and kind of like talked it through and was able to figure it out for myself. So I have known since I was 15. I am 25 now. And, I feel a lot better about myself since coming out. I have a lot more confidence in myself. I love when people refer to me as a guy. It makes me feel really great about myself. It's like a nice validation for myself. And I can now look at myself and not feel disgusted. What's another question? Are you considering surgeries? Yes, I am considering top surgery right now. I don't know how I'm going to go about it yet. Bottom surgery, that is a subject I will not discuss with people because that does make me a little uncomfortable because I did have this conversation with somebody and they didn't know much about it. And so they started asking questions, and that's fine. I don't mind answering the questions. But then they asked me, well, are you going to get a large penis or a small penis? And I looked at them, I'm like, I don't think you understand how that works. You don't get to pick. You kind of just, like, it's a whole thing. And then they're just like, well, are you going to get, are you going to have that extra skin? Are you going to be circumcised? And I just looked at them like, I don't think that's how it actually works. I don't know fully. I barely touched that subject myself. And so I'm still learning more about that. So right now I don't know how that all works, but as time goes on, I will learn and I will discuss that with my doctor and I will make that decision later on. But to answer that question, yes, I would like to have bottom surgery. But right now that does not look like it's a possibility. When did you come out? I came out to a friend one night in January or February, roughly around there. And that friend referred to me as a guy. And I felt pretty confident with that. And even though I looked very feminine at the time, it still was nice and I felt pretty validated. And then I did start the process. I cut all my hair off. I started dressing more masculine. Some people thought I was a lesbian, which is fine because, I did present pretty feminine at the time. So I wasn't going to be butthurt about it. I officially came out to... I first came out to my mom the week I started testosterone. My brother knew first. I discussed it with him, but I kind of touched the topic in a way where it did not sound like I was sure. And as time went on, I don't know if I ever explained it better to him. But that's here nor there. I then later came out to my mother the day I started testosterone. Or a day or two later, maybe. And then I came out to my father a week later. I haven't spoken to him since his birthday, which was at the end of May. I have tried, but he doesn't respond back, so I just left it as is. That's that. On my niece and my dad's birthday, I did come out to the rest of my family. I came out to my sisters and some family that were there. I came out to them, and they were all very supportive. They said, whatever makes you happy, doesn't matter. You do you. A few days later, I did publicly announce to everybody on Facebook, because on Facebook, I just went by Sam and left it at that. And then when I announced it, I changed my name on Facebook to Samuel Dean. I didn't add my last name till maybe a few days ago, just to kind of see how that fits. I did pick my mother's maiden name, simply for the fact that I haven't spoken to my dad, and I don't know if I ever will. So I just went with her last name. Plus, it sounds better with her last name. I didn't like how my dad's last name sounded with my name, so I just went with that. How did you pick your name? I actually always liked my nickname, Sam. Excuse me. So I wanted to stick with that, with the base, and so Samuel came up, and I did like how that sound, and I think it does fit me. How I came up with my middle name, actually, even though I did want to keep my nickname Sam, I did also want to change my name completely and go by Dean, because I absolutely love Supernatural. I even have a Supernatural tattoo. I enjoyed it so much that I did want to change my name to Dean, but didn't, simply for the fact that I didn't want to be... I don't know. I actually don't remember why I didn't go through with it, but I didn't. So my name is Samuel Dean, but, yeah. I probably wouldn't have a middle name if I went by just Dean. People did, when they did find out that my middle name was based off a TV show, a lot of them asked if my first name was too, and I said, in a sense, I guess, but I always enjoyed my nickname Sam, so I did want to stick with that. So that's how that went. What's another question people ask? So how did I come out? surgeries, name. So what are other things you do to present more masculine? I do wear a binder. I have tried trans tape. I have tried trans tape, and I did enjoy how that felt because it feels a lot better to not have to bind, and it made me feel a little more confident. So I didn't do a fantastic job the first couple of times, but that's just because, like, I watched a video on YouTube. I tried asking people to explain it to me, and it was really hard to do. So, actually, the person I am seeing knows how to do it, so they are going to help me do that this weekend. So we're going to go. I actually ran out of tape, so we're going to the store this weekend to pick up some more, and we're going to do it. And I used K-tape, and that actually, apparently, you can keep that on for a few days. So I probably will be wearing that most of the weekend, which will be nice because I don't particularly like wearing a binder all the time because it does hurt. It does make me sweat a lot. I kind of also think that's why a lot of my acne gets pretty bad. What else? That's all I can think of at the moment. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment at the bottom and I can make a part 2 later. But those are the most commonly asked questions I get. I guess another one would be like about my sexuality, because a lot of people do say, like, when they hear about it, they're just like, so would that make you gay? I was just kind of looked at them and was like, well, technically I am pansexual. I don't date based off gender. I date based off personality, and kind of what interests me, which can be men or women or non-binary people. So I guess, yeah, in a sense, I don't know how that technically works. I'm just going to stick with I am pansexual. Um, I, as growing up, I did mostly date men, but that was because it was a lot harder for me to date women because I did dress very feminine, and to have a feminine girlfriend while being also feminine didn't seem to, like, really fit. I did have a very masculine girlfriend at one point, but we did not work out just simply for the fact that she was my first girlfriend, and she has dated other women before and was not interested. She liked me, but she was not interested in the fact that, like, she was my first, and she very much liked when her partner was more, I guess, dominant. And during that time, I was 14, 15, and I didn't really understand how all that worked, because I was just, like, learning about all this stuff, and I was learning about my sexuality and what I liked and what I didn't like. But as I did get older, I kind of figured it out slowly. I'm not perfect at it now. I do struggle with it sometimes. But overall, I am a lot more confident now as a man than I did as a woman. Um, Another good question I do get. Do you think you're going to regret it later? I personally don't think I'm going to regret it. Simply for the fact that I can look at myself in the mirror and not feel like a piece of shit. I felt a lot of the time that I was hiding in someone else, that wasn't really, like, it was me, but it wasn't me. I don't know how to really explain that because it doesn't make sense, I guess, but I feel more confident dressing more masculine, being referred to as a guy, and like the idea of having facial hair and like all that, like the whole thing just like makes me feel a lot better about myself. That's where I'm going to be, and that's who I'm going to be, and I am very excited for that. I can't wait. Like I'm very impatient. So like doing this slowly is been like annoying. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years, so a couple more years is not going to kill me. Um, but I do get people being very like very rude. Like a lot of people at my work do know that I am transgender, but still refer to me as a girl. Even though I did present myself with my voice as deep as it is, and referring to myself as a guy myself, and saying my name is Samuel, people still do refer to me as a girl. And I later found out it's because with their religion, they said it's like God doesn't make mistakes. You know, what you're doing is a sin. And I don't only get that from people at work. I get it from people that I've known my entire life, or I've known the last few years. And honestly, like, if God made everybody perfect, no one would feel the way they do. I think, and I think God creates obstacles for people to go through, for them to find their happiness, and it's a scenario he wants to see play out, and he rolls with it. If he didn't want the gay people here, if he didn't want transgender, like, we wouldn't exist. Plain and simple. If you don't believe that, that's fine. That's your choice. That's what I choose to believe in. I also don't talk about religion for that particular reason, because my views are very different from yours. And I don't want to argue, because nobody's right and nobody's wrong. But at the end of the day, you are going to believe you are right. So I just don't bother with that. That is what I believe in. You don't have to believe in that. That is your choice completely. Just let me live my life. And if you think I'm going to hell, I'm going to hell, guys. I don't care. Um, but that's that. Like I said, if you have any questions, leave them at the bottom. I will answer them. If not, I'll see you guys in my next update video. Yeah, that's a thing. Bye, guys.